Mario Party 5 is a bit of an interesting stepping stone in my childhood. Yeah, technically speaking, I did grow up with the game, but I didn't actually own the game myself. Growing up, I loved this game. I really loved this game. It was the only video game I ever wanted to play whenever I went over to my cousin's house to visit or to sleep over. I'm definitely curious to see if the game still holds up almost 20 years after its release. A lot of Mario Party games have come out after Mario Party 5, and all of them have given their own shake at the Mario Party formula, so let's see if the game still holds up. Hey there, my name is Blitzwin, and we're going to be reviewing Mario Party 5. Now, while we obviously have Party Mode, Story Mode, Options Mode, and Minigame Mode, we also have a few special modes thrown into the mix this time, and those modes are Super Duel Mode and Bonus Mode. This time we're going to be starting with Party Mode, and already I can see a massive jump in quality between this game and Mario Party 4. Getting the obvious out of the way, the boards are now rendered in full 3D. Instead of item shops, you visit these gumball machine looking guys who give you capsules instead, and in these capsules are items that you can throw around the board to put yourself at an advantage or disadvantage. Naturally, being a Mario game, the graphics are all nice, colorful, and eye-catching, and despite being 17 years old, the game still looks pretty good even looking at it now. The boards are definitely one of my favorite aspects of Mario Party 5, not just because they're not square grids anymore, but now they feel like actual real places. Sweet Dream to me is a great example of this and perfectly showcases the dev team really stretching their creative muscles. Interestingly enough, instead of being hosted by one of the hosts of the game or a benevolent character of some sort, the last 5 turn roulette is actually hosted by Bowser, but it doesn't really amount to much. I also really need to mention that the minigames in Mario Party 5 are so much fun. Fladiator, easily one of my favorite 1 vs 3 minigames. You're murdering people with a big ball! Also, watching characters being sucked into a black hole for the ending ceremony is way funnier than it should be. Party Mode, I feel like definitely had the most attention given to it and definitely had the most amount of polish when jumping from 4 to 5. Especially when it comes to the boards. I can't tell you how many hours I wanted to spend just exploring the boards themselves. I didn't even care about any of the mini games I was going to be playing. I only wanted to explore these different boards and see what kind of gimmicks I could find, what ways I could fuck around with my opponents, and how I could get ahead. Like, they're just that fun to explore. And really, this could be applied to just about every single board in the game. But if you'll allow me to, there's one more board in the game that I really need to gush about. And that board is Future Dream. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. The atmosphere of the board is absolutely incredible in my opinion, and the way the board itself is designed is just so much fun with the island hopping gimmick and then running around and going into the teleporters and rocket ships, and oh my god, do not even get me started on the music. In my personal opinion, this is the best party mode has ever been in a Mario Party game. All of the boards feel like real, tangible places. Like, I want to sit down, not play minigames, and take the time to explore these vastly different worlds. And the dream aesthetic is just super fucking endearing. And on top of that, being able to interact with Eldstar and Clevar from Paper Mario 64, who's hosting the board and the gimmicks, just makes the deal all the sweeter in my opinion. Look, the main point I'm trying to get across here is that Party Mode is a lot of fun. None of the boards feel tedious to play on, the gimmicks aren't insanely frustrating and don't make me want to throw my controller out a goddamn window. I don't feel like CPU players are getting an advantage over me every time they land on another space or are ahead of me. I feel like I can get a chance to actually gain an advantage and, win the board. In the course of recording footage for this review, I wanted to keep playing. I did not want to put the controller down, and that is just a testament to how much fun Party Mode has become in Mario Party 5. I had more fun in Party Mode than any other mode in the game. How is that possible? I should not have had this much fun, but I did. My hat goes off to the dev team because god damn did they make party mode addicting to play. The Bowser mini games available are pretty fun, and they can be super nerve-wracking if you have all 4 people playing at once in a multiplayer match, but they're mostly luck-based. You really just have to hope and pray that maybe those flaming fireworks won't hit you. Moving on, let's talk about story mode, and oh god. Okay, the story mode is that Bowser has invaded the Dream Depot, and now you and the character you pick have to step up and stop him. And it's a story mode, alright. There are no proper turns. You'll face one of the 3 Koopa kids in a duel mini game, and by the end of it, you'll hopefully take away all of their coins so that you can actually eliminate them from the game. It's not great, I gotta say. It really feels like this story mode was an absolute afterthought, even more so than Mario Party 4. I mean, the Koopa kids all move around at the same time and they have fancy red numbers. There's no minigame interruptions. You just have to land on a space with the Koopa kids in order to initiate a mini game? Okay, I'm really reaching here. It's so fucking boring! The story mode is so boring! Like, oh my god, I feel like my brain cells were slowly dying as I played through each board. I was not having fun in the slightest. But at the very least, you'd expect the final battle with Bowser to be worthwhile, right? Big no. This Bowser fight fucking sucks. First, you need to survive these bomb-shaped Bowser doll things who explode every time you touch them. Then you need to survive these flaming hoops, and if you manage to survive that, Bowser will punch his TV and smash the ground. Then you have to avoid being flattened and try and angle him to the platform that he destroyed in the hopes that he'll crash his fat ass right through the hole. And if you manage to survive that, then it's the final phase. And this fucking sucks. This fight is so tedious. Throwing these spheres at Bowser is tedious. Movement is slow and tedious. The atmosphere is tedious. The music sucks. This fucking sucks. It's not entertaining. It's not dramatic. It's not climatic in any sort of way. It's not fun. It is fucking boring. Moving on from that, let's finally talk about minigame mode. And we're gonna first be starting off with minigame circuit, and this is my personal favorite minigame mode in minigame mode. It's a Mario Party and Mario Kart hybrid sort of. You'll get 3 mushroom capsules with a super mushroom, and once a random minigame is chosen, you'll have a chance to use one of the capsules before the game starts. And assuming you actually win the minigame, in that case, you'll be given a huge advantage and you'll be able to move way ahead of the competition. Moving past your opponents is extremely funny and very satisfying. Going around the track feels really fast, and overall, it's still really fun. Next up on the list is minigame battle. Again, a standard minigame competition where you pick a set amount of matches ranging from 3 to 7. You compete in the minigames and fuck around with the CPUs, and when you win the minigame, you get this special stamp on a big old chart. Next up on the list is Minigame Wars, and this time things are presented in the format of a game show. But again, it's a standard minigame competition. Minigames are selected randomly, and if you win the minigame, this time you'll be able to choose a space on this giant board. It's only limited to the flashing spaces available, and it's pretty cool, it's pretty fun, and the game show is endearing. And the final mode on our list is Minigame Showdown. This one focuses on dual minigames, which I am 100% burnt out on thanks to the story mode. But it's still a lot of fun, and it's super funny seeing your opponent dropped into the ocean like a sack of potatoes. The next mode on our list is bonus mode, and first we're going to be starting with volleyball, and as boring as that sounds, it obviously has a bit of a Mario twist, like for example turning the ball into an actual bomb, and every time you volley the ball, the timers go down, and when it does go down to 0, it explodes in your opponent's faces. There's also a dice block ball, which I feel is a little broken since the points you get are determined by the number you land on the dice block. And finally, we just have good old regular volleyball. Okay, next on our list is ice hockey, and this time there's nothing too special about it, although it's a strangely good fit for the Mario universe considering we have Super Mario Strikers and Mario Strikers Charged. You basically run around and try to score goals and hit people. And finally, we have Card Party. Now this I have been waiting to talk about. You select your game piece and of course decide the order of the turns, and once that's all squared away, you can finally start playing, and the games are decided in a 7x7 ratio and you just simply choose your space. It's sort of like a slowed down, more laid back version of party mode. When you land on a happening card, you'll be able to summon a boot to steal stars, much like in party mode, which is what you're competing for. And when you land on an item card, you'll be able to get something like a mushroom, which can give you an advantage. And of course, there's screw spaces, and there's also star cards, which is what you'll be aiming to collect. This mode isn't really for everyone, as it can be fairly slow paced, and you really do have to have at least a little bit of patience. And you need to be careful of the stars, these evil black stars, which will basically just fuck you over for the entire game if you're not careful. Even though this can be kind of slow, I still think it's a lot of fun and definitely worth checking out even now. And finally, we have the last available mode, Super Duel Mode. This is basically Nintendo's answer to Twisted Metal. It's a card combat game, but very, very toned down. You'll be competing in a special tournament, competing against different characters with your own special built machines. And at the end of it, you even get this special tournament TV style intro where you're introduced and your machine is introduced. And the character you're fighting against has their own machine and their own special name, like Wildman Wario. It's fucking great. I also need to mention that by winning and competing in minigames, you earn points to create your own machines. And let me tell you, you can create some really ridiculous stuff. Your creativity is only limited by your imagination here. Mario Party 5 definitely still holds up, and I 100% still recommend it. Well, that's about all I have for now, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed or disliked the video down below, and I'll see you next time.